Once, Elon Musk decided to take PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel for a spin to show off the raw power of the McLaren F1. What he didn't know, though, was that the F1 had no traction control or stability systems. Nothing to save you if you push it too far. Soon Musk fired the gas, and in a blink of an eye, bam! Luckily, Musk and Thiel barely got injured. But unfortunately, the F1 wasn't actually insured. But trust me, that's not all. So from his wet Nelly to his Tesla Roadster, let's check out every car in the garage of the world's richest man. Long before he became a Tesla god and the king of X, Elon Musk actually had some really wild style. One of his earliest cars, the wet Nelly, is the exact 1976 Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me. Yep, the James Bond movie. And yeah, it actually does transform into a fully functional submarine. Now, in its original form, the Lotus Esprit S1 was what we might call one gorgeous damsel. Designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro, it had that signature 70s wedge shape, and for engine, it ran on a 2.0-liter four-cylinder that gave out 160 horsepower and 140 pounds-feet of torque. Considering that this amount of horsepower was able to drive this 2,200-pound car, we've got to agree that it was one heck of an engine. Paired with its 5-speed manual transmission and mid-engine layout, the handling was just too easy, hitting 138 miles per hour in no time. Now compared to the normal Esprit, Musk's own doesn't even have an engine. In fact, there are no wheels and no road-going abilities. As it turns out, Musk actually never intended to drive this car. Yep, right after he got the vehicle, he turned it into a real Tesla-powered submarine car. He even mentioned wanting to fit it with a Tesla electric supermotor and see if he could make it drive and submerge just like in the film. Whether he'll actually do it or not is another question, maybe after he gets the Starship to Mars. Musk bought this Esprit at an auction in 2013 for nearly $1 million. Actually, before Elon Musk, a couple bought this exact car for just $100, having no idea what was inside. Today, now belonging to Mr. Musk, this Esprit may be worth over $2 million. Then, there's Elon Musk's Jaguar E-Type Roadster, a car so stunning that Enzo Ferrari himself called it the most beautiful car ever made. If the man behind the name Ferrari says that, you know the car is just crazy. One classy thing about the E-Type is that it has a fully independent suspension, which was unheard of in the 1960s. While American muscle cars like the Dodge Challenger were still wrestling with their solid rear axles, the E-Type was slicing through corners like cake. Now Musk's Series 1 Roadster used a 4.2-liter inline-6 engine that produced 265 horsepower and 283 pounds-feet of torque. For speed, 150 miles an hour was just a normal day for this car. This same 150 was almost a lawbreaker in the 1960s. For its insides and tech, the E-Type Roadster had a leather-trimmed cabin with a wood-rimmed steering wheel, Smith's gauges, and toggle switches for lights and wipers. It also used foldable seats, and for suspension, double wishbones in front and coil spring rear with inboard disc brakes. The cabin wasn't too bad itself. Jaguar built 38,419 Series 1 E-Type Roadsters, but not all of them survived. The 1967 model is among the most desirable, thanks to its classic covered headlights and design, at least before later versions became heavier and less impressive. Today, a mint-condition E-Type is worth over $250,000, a lot more expensive than its initial price. Elon Musk might be all about electric cars now, but back in the day, he had a real soft spot for gas-powered speed machines. Case in point, his 2012 Porsche 911 Turbo, or Widowmaker as he calls it. One time, Elon raced this car to its limits on a winding road. As the speedometer climbed, he lost control on a sharp turn, sending the Porsche fishtailing into a ditch and leaving a long line of metal and shattered glass behind. Miraculously, he survived the crash. Little X would probably know the story by now. The 911 Turbo, part of the 997.2 generation, used a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged flat-six engine producing about 500 horsepower and 480 pounds-feet of torque. If that wasn't enough, there was an optional overboost function which added an extra 30 to the torque. This engine could easily launch the vehicle to 60 miles per hour in just 3.2 seconds, jamming the brakes at a top speed of 194. For a fact, the 911 Turbo was really dangerous to put on the road. Thanks to its all-wheel drive system, it had really sick levels of grip, meaning you could take corners at speeds that would put most supercars in a ditch. No wonder Elon crashed his. Now, why did Musk buy one? Well, he once admitted that one of the reasons he pushed so hard to make the Tesla Model S better was because he wanted an electric car that could outclass his 911 turbo. The result? The Model S Plaid, which eventually blew past the turbo in both acceleration and speed. Porsche made around 21,000 units of the 997.2 turbo, making it one of the more sought-after models today. When new, they all sold for around $137,000. But today, a clean form can go for more than $100,000. You wouldn't expect a guy like Elon Musk to own a car from over 100 years ago. But yeah, he does. And not just any old car. He owns a 1920 Ford Model T. The Model T was actually a gift from his father, Elon Musk, as a project car. Henry Ford was actually the brain behind the vehicle, and when he created it, he actually flipped a lot of prototype designs. By using assembly line production, Ford made the vehicle real cheap and easy to repair. By 1920, over half the cars in the world were Model Ts, at least before Toyotas filled every street. So, what's for engine? Well, the Model T came with a 2.9-litre four-cylinder engine that oozed a 20 horsepower output and 80 pounds-feet of torque. Compared to today's gas-powered vehicles, that's less than 5% of power. For top speed, it was actually a bit sluggish, being around 45 miles per hour. Still, the real magic of the Model T was its simplicity and ease of driving. It used a trembler coil ignition system powered by a low-voltage magneto, a hand crank as a starting mechanism, carbide lamps for headlights, and oil lamps for taillights. Electric starter and magneto-powered electric lights were introduced later, alongside a dashboard with ignition timing lever and throttle. With these, the Model T remained Ford's best seller for almost 2 decades. When it first came, it was just worth $260, which is about $3,500 in today's value. Nowadays though, a well-preserved Model T, even with customizations, can sell for anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000. I wonder whether Elon actually sold his. Next up, Musk's sedan, the Hammond BMW M5. To be honest, the E60 BMW M5 was actually gorgeous, and Musk went for a Hammond-tuned model, which was even crazier than the original. BMW produced only 20,548 units of this car, and Hammond-tuned versions were even scarcer. In the engine area sat a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated V10 producing 507 horsepower and 384 pounds-feet of torque. With Hammond's tuning, it pushed closer to 600 horsepower, which for a four-door sedan was wild. Even in its stock form, the M5 could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds. For its top speed, it was electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, but once you remove that limiter, it could push past 200. The M5 was a real thrill for the way it sounded and how it drove. Its V10 scream was just pure, high-pitched mechanical fury. And on the road, it was really unhinged. The 7-speed sequential manual transmission was brutal, reminds me of Musk's freaky drone dance. As for price, a stock E60 M5 originally cost around $90,000. But today, a well-maintained Hammond-tuned model like Musk's could take out more than $150,000 from your wallet. Before Tesla, before SpaceX, before all the billions, Elon Musk bought himself a McLaren F1. In true Musk fashion, he crashed it. First, let's talk about why this car is so special. The McLaren F1 was once the fastest car in the world. Its engine, a 6.1-litre BMW Special V12 engine, produced 627 horsepower and 479 pounds-feet of torque, capable of revving the wheels up to 7,500 revolutions per minute. With this, the F1 could hit 60 in just 3.2 seconds and had a maximum speed around 240 miles per hour, a decade-long record breaker. To make it more pure, so to say, the F1 has no traction control, no power steering, no assists, just basic mechanics. It even has a central driver's seat with 2 passenger seats flanking it. Now, in 1999, after selling his first company Zip2 for $307 million, Musk decided to treat himself to a McLaren F1. But just a year later, he crashed it. And the worst part, he didn't even have insurance. Musk even added that he never even registered it for road use, he just drove it around without plates. As for its monetary value, Musk got his F1 for $1 million. Today, this car sells for over $20 million, 20 times its initial price. Before Elon Musk decided to go into the electric cars business, he had something totally different, a BMW M5 or E60 as they call it. While this car looked like every other sedan on its outside, its insides was an entirely different story. Let's start with its engine. The M5 uses a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated V10 with a power output of 500 horsepower and 384 pounds-feet of torque. Unlike today's turbo engines, this one gave out 8,250 revolutions per minute to all its wheels, moving the car from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds. And PS, if you removed the factory speed limiter, it could blast past 200 miles per hour. The vehicle was packed with some really crazy tech, including a 7-speed single-clutch transmission and a Formula 1-style launch control system. BMW even let drivers adjust the power output, with a special P500 mode unlocking the full 500 horsepower. The cabin has sport-style seats in merino leather with M-specific bolstering, a thick-rimmed M steering wheel, and aluminum trim everywhere. A heads-up display projected speed and gear data onto the windshield. This was actually the first of its kind in the M5 lineage. Then there's the iDrive infotainment system that has navigation, audio, and vehicle settings locked in. And the rear seat entertainment and a 16-speaker Logic 7 sound system made it all really comfortable. On tech, the M5 has an electronic damper control, or EDC, that serves as an adjustable suspension, allowing drivers to toggle between comfort, normal, and sport modes. Then there's the M differential, a variable limited slip differential that helps optimize traction when it comes to aggressive cornering. When it was first rolled out, the E60 M5 started at around $90,000. Today, clean models are becoming rare, with prices climbing past $70,000. And finally, the one car you'd expect Elon Musk to own, a Tesla Roadster. Before Tesla became a household name, before the Model S, the Cybertruck, and even the Falcon wing doors, the Tesla Roadster was the one car that started it all. Now there is one belief that Elon Musk actually launched this car into space. Well folks, he actually did it. Yep, Musk's Roadster is not on Earth as we speak. The Roadster was Tesla's first real production car introduced in 2008. It was built on the chassis of a Lotus Elise, but instead of a gas engine, it had a completely electric motor. Sitting in the car was a 185 kilowatt electric motor, delivering 288 horsepower and 295 pounds-feet of torque. On the topic of acceleration, this helped move the wheels from 0 to 60 miles in just 3.7 seconds, faster than most F1 cars of the era. And the top speed? A brilliant 125 miles per hour. Now here's where things get really interesting. You see, Musk wasn't just the CEO. He was also one of the first Tesla Roadster owners, probably the very first ever. In 2018, he decided to take his personal first-generation Roadster and do something no one has ever done or will ever do: to shoot it into space. That's right, instead of launching a payload on the first Falcon Heavy rocket, Musk strapped his own cherry red Tesla Roadster to it and shot it into orbit. Right now, that car is floating through space, with Starman the mannequin in the driver's seat. Tesla only made about 2,450 first-generation Roadsters, with each costing around $250,000 today. When they first came out, they were just around worth $100,000. Let's end this video with a fun fact. Musk's Tesla Roadster in space is expected to keep going round the sun for hundreds of years, if not millions even. In other words, Elon Musk's Roadster might just be the longest-lasting car in human history. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so we can update you on all our upcoming content. Also, comment what celebrity car collection you want us to do next. We'll catch you in the next one.